Hi guys. So I decided to make this a bit more casual because I want to. Also, the sound quality is not super good when I film with my tripod and it's a bit further away from me. So maybe this is nicer for now. Also, again, I am lazy if that hasn't come across yet. Basically, what I wanted to do today, it's actually not a video about books, but it's a video about stories, also about gay stuff. So like, why not? Because what I thought I would do is I would talk about all the series and movies that have LGBTQ content in them that I watched in the last 16 months. I've been keeping a list with all the movies and series I've watched, and I always put a little rainbow flag behind them when there's gay stuff in there, because I want to remember in case I want to watch something casually gay, because I like it. I have 2 pages full of movies and series I've watched, so there's a total of 17 productions on here. I'm not going to go into much detail, I'm just going to judge the representation, how I liked it, how I thought it was done, that sort of thing. And maybe you find something that I haven't heard about before that you find cool because it's gay. Because, you know, it's what we do. Okay, Jesus Christ. So, the first one that I want to mention, actually, the first one I want to mention is not actually with a rainbow flag behind it, unfortunately, because I'm mad about Thor Ragnarok, okay? I just needed to mention that. I know we all know the Valkyrie is bi, but why couldn't we see that? Why is it so hard to have that confirmed? I don't understand, and I'm mad about it. I loved Thor Ragnarok anyway, but it would have been even better had Valkyrie been allowed to be her bi self. That's just the tea. So, just wanted to, mention that. Outside of that, the first actual representation was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which I watched. I wanted to watch that, and I watched it in America, and then I turned off my Wi-Fi until I had gotten back home to London at that time, and actually watched until the end of it in my dorm, till I then turned on the Wi-Fi again, so that my phone would know I'm actually in London and I could use my phone properly. But I had it off so I could finish the movie because I really desperately needed to finish it. It was okay. So this bi character, is it a plot twist a little bit maybe? I expected a bit more, I'll be honest, but this movie has been out for a while. I think a lot of people really like it. I found it okay. I found the filmmaking aspects of it really interesting, but I feel like the entire day of just, like fighting the ex-boyfriend, like it's a bit like cliche, like I'm the man and I have to show I'm the man by conquering the woman by fighting her. I don't know. It should have rubbed me the wrong way, I guess, the premise, but the rest of it was fun. And again, yeah, the representation I thought was a bit more, could have been better, but I think it was also, because it was filmed a while ago, it was maybe one of the first instances of bi representation, so that's cool, and I can appreciate it for that. The next one is a movie as well, which is Booksmart. So Booksmart is about, if you haven't heard about it, it's about 2 teens who are right before their graduation from high school, and they were always really smart and just studied hard for school and everything, sort of the nerds in the school, and they realised that even though they worked hard, all the other peers have also done enough to get really good grades and get into really good schools as well, alongside them, and they're like, you know what, why, we haven't really used our teenagehood very well then, so let's just make the best we can out of it in this like last night, and they go and do that. And one of the 2 friends they're both girls, and one of them is a lesbian, and she explores it a little bit in this movie, which is fun, and I found it really sweet. You know, it's just sort of your typical teenage movie, but with a lesbian in it, and it's amazing. And also, I don't know if there's more representation. That's the only I can remember. I haven't watched it since, but yeah, it was really sweet. Okay, the next one that I want to talk about is actually a series. It's The Umbrella Academy. You've probably heard of it. I feel like it was very heavily promoted and talked about at the time. I watched season 1, and there is, I think, one main character who's queer. I don't know if it is confirmed gay or like bi or pan or just queer or whatever, but we know the. I don't want to spoil it. I'm spoiling it though. One of the brothers is or was at some point involved with a man, and that it's mentioned, and he doesn't really. I think he emphasizes it a lot. He's also just a very fun, peculiar person. I think, you know, he's definitely an audience favorite. The next one I have is The Breakuppers, which is a New Zealandish. No, that's not how you say that. It's a movie that was made in New Zealand. I think, was it made by Taika Waititi? I don't know. Where does this weird British accent come from right now? I don't know either. Jesus. Okay, anyway, and it's a fun movie, and one of the two main characters is bi, just sort of casually. I don't think, does she act on it? It's mentioned, and she doesn't really, is it? I don't know. They talk about the sexualities a couple times, I believe, and there's not a whole big cast, so I feel like it sticks with you and you remember it. I mean, yeah. So, I don't know. It wasn't like a main focus of the story though. As I think with most, if not all of these so far, it wasn't, you know, a big plot point, but it was just a thing. And I really liked that. And I thought she was cool, and I thought that was nice. Because I think it's important to both have your sort of really upfront representation where it's like an actual important topic in the movie that is mentioned and it's worked through and everything, as well as having representation where it's just, you know, this person just happens to be bi or gay or trans or whatever, and it's not a big deal, but it's also not mentioned at all. Just that, yeah. So I don't know, but I like that, so I think you can just watch it. But it's not a big thing, and it's just sort of funny and just a bit wacky, and it's just kind of enjoyable. It's a movie as well. The next one was Wine Country, which is also a movie about a couple of women who are around their 50s. I think they're celebrating the 50th birthday of one of the women, and they are going to the countryside to celebrate, and it's just sort of about turning that age, about worries, about all of that, and one of the women happens to be lesbian, I believe. She's into women, that's the main bit. I think that comes into play at some point, which is fun. I just like that you have that representation in a group like that. It's just very refreshing to see. The movie itself, which is sort of, it is what it sounds like. You know, that sort of, you quite feel good, a bit, like, also really funny, sort of movie with some, you know, important questions strewn in. So, yeah, that was cool. The next one I have is She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, which is a children's series, I'm aware. I watched season 1 at that point, but I also watched season 2 to 5 later on. so I'm just going to mention all of it now. It's just really cool. It's really cute. It's just so good. It's just a very diverse cast. It's no, well, I mean, 90% women in that series, and I'm here for it. It's really cool. You know, I think love and relationships don't really play a part in it yet because it's a children's series, and that usually is not the case. I think they have one confirmed female-female relationship, and the rest is just sort of, it just doesn't seem like a series that would push like straightness for their characters. I think the reason it's not confirmed in any, like most of them are not confirmed, is because that is not okay in a children's series in the eyes of those people that make it or pay for it. I'm not quite sure. I'm not in the know on that, but I think I've heard something along those lines. This is a bit of a spoiler. Just a bit. In one episode, we get to know the fathers of one of the characters, and they're a male-male couple, and they're also, like all the other characters as well, amazing people, and it's just so good. It's just really nice and sweet. It's just so lovely, and at the same time, it's still like a fantasy kind of / sci-fi kind of story, and it's just really cool, and it's just really nice to watch, honestly. I haven't rewatched it yet, but I might. And yeah, it's just good. I have a problem here because I have 2 different movies that I watched. Both of them were Spanish, and both of them have something to do with family. But I don't know which one's which. Okay, so the ones, so I need to look that up, but I can't tell you right now, and I'm not going to look it up right now. So one is Despite Everything, and the other one is In Family I Trust. So one of them, pretty sure Despite Everything, is about 4 sisters, and their mum has died. I think. Yeah, she's died. So, and they discover that they are all from different dads. Or, I think so. I think that's the thing. I think they get to learn who their dads are. And, oh, do they? I'm sorry, I'm so confused. It was a really cool, like, sort of family kind of drama, but still funny, and like with sibling dynamics and kind of that kind of stuff. One of the, am I making sense at all? I don't know. One of the sisters is a lesbian. Is she? I think she is said to be. Yes. There's a bunch of weird stuff going on. I think this is an instance where sort of the usual lack of representation is an interesting plot twist, is used to make an interesting plot twist. Am I saying too much? I don't know. It's quite a nice film. And then I think In Family I Trust, but again, it could be the other way around. I'm really sorry if I'm getting them mixed up. Is about I think a successful woman who comes back to her village and is a sort of that kind of romantic comedy type thing, and the main characters are straight, but her brother is gay, which is not like the, you know, he's not the comic relief per se, I think, but he is the typical sort of funny gay that just hangs out and makes sarcastic remarks, if I can remember correctly. So, you know, if you look for splendid representation, it's probably not what you're gonna look for. But I think it was still quite, you know, just the sort of thing you can just watch and it's fine. I also watched the first season of Sense8. I have watched like the first 2 episodes of season 2. Still haven't gotten around to watching the rest. I think because it's like mysterious and kind of dangerous. I love the concept. It's so good. It's amazing. I'm just in love with it. I should probably explain the premise for anyone who hasn't heard about this before. why, but okay. It's about 8 people, and they find out that they're sort of mentally interconnected, and they're all across the world, which, first of all, amazing visuals of that as well, and they're mentally interconnected, so sometimes they see each other in their space, or they take up each other's roles, and it's so well done. Like, I find the filmmaking of it, just the concept and the filmmaking of it is next level shit, and it's so good. And it's also a bit like scary. I'm scared, but it's also really cool. And like, one of them is trans, and one of them is a closeted gay guy, and it's just really cool. And they live all over the world. I think one of them lives in Nairobi, one of them lives in Mumbai, one of them lives in Seoul or in South Korea, one of them lives in Berlin, in London, in San Francisco, in Chicago, and in Mexico City, somewhere in Mexico. And it's just so cool. It's so cool. And yeah, I'm just I'm hyping this up for myself. I really need to watch the rest of that so I can rewatch it, because it's so cool. I mean, there's the scary bits I'm probably gonna skip on my rewatch and just gonna look at all the cool bits, which I don't mean the sex scenes. There are sex scenes, just be aware if that's something you don't like. But I mean more like fight scenes or other stuff where they think together and they're just all in the same place, and it's just so cool. I love it. Okay, anyway, I need to calm down. The next one that I have is Dumpin'. So the mom used to be in beauty pageants, and now she's holding those beauty pageants, and her daughter is not interested in that sort of thing, but then I don't even know why she becomes interested in it, and that sort of thing. Also, like, more of a teeny type movie. I don't know where the LGBTQ representation came in. I think one of her friends that she makes may be gay or queer in some capacity. I think they also get help from some drag queens. I may confuse this with something else, but I think that's what happened. You know, which is cool. It's also a lot about friendship and all of that, and the main character is straight, as far as I know. It's just, that sort of teeny movie that you can just watch. Again, one of those. And then I have Hurricane Bianca, which the main character is played by Bianca Del Rio, who's a drag queen. I think she's the winner of one of the early seasons of Drag Race. I got interested in her because I've seen her on stage, and everybody's talking about Jamie in London, in the musical, and she played a drag queen there as well, and I didn't know her at that point, which was a bit embarrassing, because I was like, yeah, everybody cheers like that for everyone, right? But no, I got that wrong. But she apparently made like 2 movies. I watched the first one. It's about a guy, and he goes to a rural school to teach, and his students are being little assholes, and then he teaches them a lesson by turning up again as a drag queen and just really like teaching them that they're being little shits and being like really sassy about it, which, that was fun. I don't think it was super deep per se. But that was cool. And then he also has some friends, and there's definitely a representation for I think he himself is gay. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's confirmed actually. But he has friends who are sort of potentially maybe doing something with each other, and there's again representation that is not obvious in the beginning parts of the movie, so I'm not going to mention that, but there's more than that. So that was cool, but it's I think relatively light-hearted mostly. And the next one I have is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And do I need to talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or do we all just know that Brooklyn Nine-Nine is awesome and we should all be watching it? because we should. I don't think there's much more to say about it, honestly. There's a black gay captain, police captain. We sometimes see his husband, who they're just amazing together. We also have, not going to consider this a spoiler, we have a Latina, who's also a detective in that precinct, and like her coming out episode is just so good, and I just love the whole series, the whole thing. I need to watch season 6 and 7. Do I get to watch it anytime soon? Thanks to Netflix Germany, probably not. I'm pissed about it, but you know, the first 5 seasons were good, so I'm, you know, just sitting here waiting for the rest. Also the rest of, you know, I just like the sense of humour of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There's a video by Riley J. Dennis who analysed the humour in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That video really helped me because I couldn't put a finger on why I like the humour of this series better than of a lot of other TV shows I've watched. So yeah, that was really helpful. You should, if I remember, I'm gonna link it, but that was really cool, and I just love Brooklyn Nine-Nine so much. The second to last one that I have is Portrait de la jeune fille en feu, which is portrait of a young woman, like lady on fire. I don't know. That's the French title. There's also a German title. I don't know if that's the correct English title, but it's about this, I don't know when it takes place, but it's a historical sort of movie, and there's this woman that's supposed to get married, and there's this other woman that's supposed to come in and paint this first woman because she doesn't actually want to get painted because she doesn't want to get married, and they fall in love, and it's so sweet and cute and cool, and it's a very slow movie. It's quite sort of the type of artsy movie I guess you can sort of expect in that regard. There's not, like, you know, those two are the main characters for sure. It's really slow. The camera shots are very sort of symmetrical and very intentional, and it was really cool. And have I talked about the representation properly for this? No, but like, I mean, they're both into each other, so I think that says enough. And it's very gay. Also, there's some sexy times. Not super explicit, but like aesthetically pleasing, I suppose. Like, very aesthetic shots. Historical lesbians. What do you want? Last one is Sex Education. I watched season 1 and 2 over the span of like 2 weeks, and it's great. And we have a bunch of different characters. We have some, I mean, oh, there's so much. We start out with Eric, who's the gay best friend of Otis, our main character, and he's just the best. I feel like everybody loves Eric. There's definitely times where you hate Otis, but you always love Eric, and you always want the best for Eric. There's more people that come out over the course of the series, or season 1 and 2. I don't want to spoil them, but there's more representation than that. There's bi representation, there's pan representation, so that was really cool. And I think, and Eric is also, he's come to terms with it. He's still struggling with it in some capacity, but he's not struggling with his sexuality or himself, more so with his surroundings. And I think the way he handles it is really well done, and worth a watch for sure. And I think the series itself is really cool. It talks a lot about sex and a lot about, obviously, literally in the name. Actually, I think, oh my god, now that I talk about it, I feel like I skipped something. Oh my god, I did. I'm so sorry. So, I'm gonna go back to that. So, let me finish the talk about sex education first. It's really good. It talks about sex, but it also talks about a lot of important stuff surrounding sex, and I haven't even properly given a summary. So, it's about Otis, whose mum is a sex therapist, and so there's this girl in school who's really cool, and he finds kind of cute, and she approaches him and is like, hey, do you want to start a sex clinic? Because like, you have the knowledge and I have the organizational skills, so like, let's do it. And he's like, sure. And so they do, and a lot of hilarity ensues from that, and we learn a lot, and they learn a lot, and it's just really cool. And if I really liked, especially that the characters, even though you could expect them to be really two-dimensional, because you have your stereotypes in the beginning. It feels like you definitely have them, with like Otis and Eric being sort of the nerdy outsiders, and Maeve being really cool, and like Adam being the bully, but they become really three-dimensional, and you understand their reasonings, and I feel like you might not like everyone equally, but I think you can really understand where they're coming from. And I like that a lot, because I think, you know, people are three-dimensional, so when a series makes you understand that, I think that's always a good thing. And yeah. And then the last one that I forgot to mention earlier is Bonding, season 1. And it's a short season, and there's only 20-minute episodes. So there's this girl who's in grad school, I want to say, and she has to earn money on the side, so she's a dominatrix, and she wants help to protect herself, and enlists the help of, I forgot his name, this gay dude, and he sort of becomes involved and you know tries to help her out, and it's really funny. It's about his relationships, it's about her relationships, it's also about the work they do, and I think that was really cool. I mean, I don't know enough about that sort of business to be able to tell how realistic it was, but I thought the discussions surrounding it were really good, and it's just a really quick watch, because I think in total it's a runtime of less than 2 hours or something, and I thought it was just really, really cool. And yeah, it's just a nice short series to watch, and I think, yeah, funny, but also discussing important topics, that sort of thing. So I think I came across that I liked most of what I watched. A lot of it was just sort of mellow. You can just, you know, you can watch it, you can not watch it. There are some things that I strongly recommend, but I think that came across. I hope it did. I hope you found some things that sound interesting that you might want to give a shot. Please let me know if you do. I would love to know how you like it. And yeah, I'm actually gonna maybe look into rewatching one or two of these, because I forgot how cool they were and how much unexpected representation there was in, because I didn't watch all of them because it was like, hey, there's LGBTQ representation in here, or I want to watch that, I want to support that. Some of them I just watched and was like, hey, actually, this is cool. So, you know, I hope that helped you, and I'll see you soon.